snow comes in after midnight. Areas of snow, little light freezing rain or sleet.
Good morning. Welcome to the Greg Belfrage Show here on Kello. We're just getting ready to get underway. Want to remind you I'll be on vacation next week. So, in fact, a little over a week, about a week and a half that I'll be on vacation through the holidays. So, just want to give you a heads up. And here we go.
The Doctor of Discernment is on the air.
I love the Greg Belfrage Show.
I've been listening to you for years, Greg. Thanks for all you do and keeping us informed.
You sound a little taller on radio. Dispensing a daily dose of common sense. No prescription required.
Americans love a winner and will not tolerate a loser. Americans play to win all the time.
I don't believe in the no-win scenario.
This
Good morning, my friend. The marketplace of ideas is open. It is great to be with you this morning on this Wednesday, December, 18th this morning. Great to have you along. Big stories today. We had the shooter in the killing of the man charged with killing the CEO of United Healthcare, Brian Thompson. Luigi Mangione was indicted in New York, and so a grand jury now has upgraded charges to first-degree murder in furtherance of terrorism, prosecutors announced yesterday. So we had Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg, along with the commissioner of the New York City Police. They announced the charges yesterday. Bragg said the sling in the heart of Midtown Manhattan was intended to evoke terror. This was a frightening, well-planned, targeted murder, Bragg said. This type of premeditated, targeted gun violence cannot and will not be tolerated. And my office has been working day in and day out to bring the defendant to justice. So he said Mangione faces a maximum penalty of life in prison without parole. So Mangione, you'll remember, is currently in Pennsylvania. That's where he was arrested. So he is expected now to waive extradition when he appears in court in Pennsylvania this Thursday. This is what some are saying right now. So he's got a court appearance, 9 a.m. local time Thursday morning. Again, he's expected to waive extradition back to New York. And he is, I don't know that there's much more to share beyond that. The police commissioner, Jessica Tisch, said there's no heroism in what Mangione did. This was a senseless act of violence, she said. Any attempt to rationalize this is vile, which is amazing because you've got a number of people who are doing exactly that. But she said any attempt to do that is vile, reckless, and offensive to our deeply held principles of justice, she said. Also, we talked about the drones and what's going on with the drones over New Jersey and what's happening there. You've got a growing number of people, I think, reacting to this. And this is Representative Michael McCall of Texas. He said yesterday that at least some of the unidentified aircraft are Chinese spy drones, he said. McCall did. And he said, I was with the NASA administrator, Bill Nelson. He said that these drones have been reported over military sites, military bases. I would not think those are friendly. I would think those are adversarial, he said. And this story is really exploded. McCall's comments have really kind of exploded. He said, we need to identify who's behind these drones. My judgment is based on my experience that those that are over our military sites are adversarial and most likely are coming from the People's Republic of China. So the Another representative said, it's not reassuring. Tell us how you know that. So McCall, as well as other members of the House Intelligence Committee, were briefed yesterday by the FBI, CIA, the Pentagon. Oh, and excuse me, it was Biden administration officials then dismissing the drones, and that brought the reaction from Representative Chris Smith of New Jersey, saying that's not reassuring, he said. McCall went on to say, I believe they're spy drones. And the PRC in communist China is very good at this stuff. We know they bought land around military bases that would be very consistent with their policy over the past couple of years. We're not getting answers, and I think it's because our government does not know who is behind them. Yeah, that's a conclusion, I think, Benny, that it's either, one of two things. Either it's the federal government who's behind them, or they don't have no idea what's going on. And this is what McCall's saying. He said, we're not getting answers. I believe it's because our government does not know who is behind them, and that's very disturbing to me. So, we talked yesterday, there's a combination then of commercial drones, hobbyist drones, so on. And then I've seen in some places that it's just like, well, this is just everyday air traffic. This is just everyday air traffic. And then suddenly you've got all of this attention. So the mayor of a town in New Jersey told Newsmax he and other mayors are demanding answers from federal authorities about what's going on with these drones. He said yesterday was on a White House briefing around 3:30 in the afternoon. And I have to tell you, these people are masters at word manipulation, he said. Enough is enough. The American public is sick and tired of being gaslighted. I don't think it's a big reach to say you can expect that through the end of this administration. Being gaslit, I mean, that is going to continue to happen. That is not going to change because this is what these folks are. Lying, not being forthcoming, not being, and so the mayor is understandably, frustrated. He said, the residents of my town have been seeing things for weeks. Morris County, state of New Jersey. We know what we've seen. Now you have the White House telling us you really didn't see that. Now, I will agree that at this point, they're getting thousands of reports, and most of those reports have nothing to do with the original drones that have been seen, but you have got to stop lying to the public. He said, I agree with President Trump. The government knows what's going on. We demand answers, and we demand answers now, because you can't be flying these drones over critical infrastructure interstate, which also includes our homes and our families. This has got to stop. Also, Representative Tim Burchett of Tennessee says he believes the Biden administration is lying about this, and he believes they don't have control of the situation. He said, I mean, when have they ever told us the truth on anything? Come on, this thing has been going on, and I don't think they have control of it, and they don't know what to do, so they're just going to lie, Burchett said. Right on, Congressman. You're absolutely right. So you got the FBI warning residents in New Jersey, do not shoot down the drones, do not point lasers at aircraft. So this was a statement released by the FBI and New Jersey State Police. And they said there's been an increase in pilots of manned aircraft who have been hit in the eyes with lasers after having been misidentified as a drone. Yeah. There's some great stories on this by Matt Vespa at Town Hall this morning. Oh, So we might have Chinese drones buzzing overhead, is one story that he's got. And he is reacting to a story from the New York Post. The drones above American airspace that set social media ablaze continue, but it's not a conservative media fascination. We have Democrats now witnessing this phenomenon. Senator Andy Kim of New Jersey, who's a Democrat, caught some spooky images. Journalist Michael Schellenberger obtained an audio recording of a Biden White House conference call with mayors who were infuriated at the administration's lackadaisical response. And he said, it's now we've got a mayor claiming a drone the size of a car hovered over their house. Now we might have Chinese spy drones humming overhead. And those are the comments I was sharing from Michael McCall. And so this story is just exploded, I think, this week. Other stories that are out there this morning. I took a look at, I check Donald Trump's True Social page most mornings. Most mornings I take a quick look at it, see what he's saying. And it's kind of interesting to me. He touches on a number of things, of course, that are the big stories that I wind up telling you about. One of them, Liz Cheney. Trump said Liz Cheney could be in a lot of trouble based on the evidence obtained by the subcommittee, which states that numerous federal laws were likely broken by Liz Cheney, and these violations should be investigated by the FBI. Thank you to Congressman Barry Loudermilk on a job well done. So Newsmax has got the story. This is the House GOP January 6th Oversight Committee. And their preliminary report says that Representative Liz Cheney engaged in criminally liable witness tampering. So they're calling for an FBI investigation into Liz Cheney. And he said, evidence uncovered by the subcommittee revealed that former Congresswoman Liz Cheney tampered with at least one witness, Cassidy Hutchinson, by secretly communicating with Hutchinson without Hutchinson's attorney's knowledge. Yeah, you can't do that. And he goes on to cite the section of a U.S. code saying that you can't do that. That's outside of the functioning of the legislative process, not protected by the speech and debate clause, he says. So he said the secret communication with the witness is improper. He said Cheney herself had threatened individuals who endeavored to influence witness testimony, called her own efforts a twist of irony. So are we gonna see Liz Cheney, facing some kind of charges as a result of all of this? And Loudermilk says the American people deserve a government they can trust and be proud of. Unfortunately, the failures, cover-ups, and false accusations in the aftermath of January 6th have only increased the people's distrust of Washington, D.C. He said Americans expect and deserve a government that is small in size, limited in scope, and fully accountable to the people as our founders intended. So this thing goes on again. It's a 127-page report. And there are a number of things here. Liz Cheney is part of it. He said the actions of some elected officials and certain government bureaucrats in the aftermath of January 6th are evidence of how far we have ventured away from those basic principles of our constitutional republic. So this is pretty well to report it's a big story this morning. So where that's going to go, what's going to wind up happening, we'll see. Also, Wisconsin authorities are not at this point giving a lot of, they're trying to pin down the motive of the school shooter in Wisconsin this week. This is Natalie Rupnow, and she shot and killed a teacher and a fellow student on Monday at the school. And the police chief there has said, identifying a motive is our top priority, but at this time, it appears the motive is a combination of factors. And he said that Rupnow did not appear to specifically target anyone at the school. Everyone was put in equal danger, he said. So we don't know what the motive was as of yet. There's a lot of reporting on this. New York Post has got the New York Post is I'd be lost without them. I mean, seriously, a lot of the information I share with you each morning is coming from the New York Post. So the Post is saying that the shooter was fascinated with other school shooters, and specifically Eric Harris, who that name may sound familiar to you, one of the shooters at Columbine. She was apparently a fan of his, and there was a snapshot of her posted on her father's Facebook page, shows her aiming a rifle at a shooting range, wearing a shirt from a German rock band, and which Eric Harris had also worn. So what we're learning about her at this point is a little bit disturbing, but you kind of expected that given the actions that, what she did. It's crazy. Other stories this morning. Congress has struck a government funding deal trying to avert a shutdown before the holidays, and nobody's happy with it. You've got a lot of Republicans or some Republicans, outspoken Republicans, very, very frustrated with the deal that was struck yesterday. So this bipartisan deal, keep the government funded beyond December 20th, because that was the shutdown deadline was December 20th. So now I think it's into March that they extended that. We also have Kamala Harris urging the public to stay in the fight. So she made some comments. These are probably the most we've heard from her since the election. Kamala Harris said, now is the time to fight and stay true to beliefs, she said. The story of America's progress, when we have made progress in many ways, is the story of people who stayed true to their ideals, even in the face of difficulty. The movements for civil rights, women's rights, workers' rights, the United States of America itself would never have come to be if people had given up their cause after a court case or a battle or an election did not go their way. So she's receiving letters, she says, tens of thousands of letters from people across the country, many of them young leaders, Americans from every walk of life, people of every age, race, faith and political party. She said, these letters share a common theme. Yes, there is disappointment, but there is also resolve for our future. And she went on. So she's urging the public to stay in the fight and come back ready to fight after the holidays. So what that's going to mean, we'll see what her plans are. There's been a lot of speculation about that. That, you know, if she's, I mean, who else do the Democrats have beyond Kamala Harris? I don't know that they've got anybody else. So is Kamala Harris going to be back for another presidential run? You got to imagine that Americans will, you know, would reject that just as soundly as they rejected her this time. There's been speculation as to whether she would run as governor of, you know, to be governor of California. We'll see. Also, New York Mayor Eric Adams warning that American youth like Luigi Mangione, saying American youth are being radicalized, he said. And he said our children are being radicalized to hate America, to hate the country that put them where they are. This person has all that one wants to have. He's talking here about Luigi Mangione. This person has all that one wants to have, but he hated everything to the point of shooting someone. And we better deal with the radicalization of our young people, he said. I'll get into those stories in more detail over the course of the morning, but those are the big stories this morning. Thanks for starting your day with the Greg Belfrage Show. 627 news headlines on the way this hour of our show, brought to you by the Window Shop of Mitchell, offering custom windows starting at $99 a month.
Weekend 6 to 9 p.m. Kello News Talk 1320 107.9.
Hello Hotline is brought to you by Tires. See in-store details about how to get rebates from major manufacturers. 2 Sioux Falls locations to serve you.
Bring changing outdoors into your home with Renewal by Anderson picture and combination windows. Optimizing the beautiful view and light in the bedroom, kitchen, or living room from ABC Seamless of Sioux Falls. Call 605-646-2667 today.
Let's ABC Seamless.
Start your career today. The South Dakota Army National Guard will pay 100% of your tuition at any state-funded university or trade school. Learn more at nationalguard.com/SD. Sponsored by the South Dakota Army National Guard, aired by the South Dakota Broadcasters Association and this station.
Whether it's on the job, on the field, on an errand, or at home, accidents can happen anywhere. If you suffer a break, sprain, or any other orthopedic injury, trust the experienced orthopedic team at Avera Orthopedics Urgent Care to keep you moving. Be seen immediately inside the Avera Specialty Hospital at 69th and Louise. No appointment necessary. Learn more about Avera's Orthopedic Urgent Care at avera.org/orthopedic urgent care.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated in the best hearing aids of 2024 by USA Today, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices. Just $189.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aids.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 500,000 happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Excuse me, I'm going to move this.
A man age 50 non-tobacco user can obtain $500,000 of coverage for as little as $110 per month. Level rate for 20 years. That's right, guaranteed level rate for 20 years. If you're a smoker, there are great rates available for you as well. Call Term Busters for a quote. 1-800-908-7636. You're probably paying more than you should. Call 1-800-908.
6:30, partly cloudy and 15 currently at Kello. Joe Bowman is in the Kello.com News Center. Coming up, South Dakota Attorney General Marty Jackley has announced another criminal investigation into state government corruption. It's the 4th case this year. Also, Sioux Falls officials believe motorists are going to love the new Veterans Parkway around the city. Joe will have details coming up. Tim tells me it's Joe's birthday today. Happy birthday to Joe Bowman.
An alert about a missing radioactive equipment is sparking new theories about the drone mystery over New Jersey.
An alert from the Nuclear Regulatory Commission that was issued earlier this month. They said a material event, a missing piece of standard medical equipment, contained a, quote, less than Cat 3 level of radioactive material.
That's Fox's Kevin Cork. There was a closed-door briefing on the drones yesterday on the Hill. Lawmakers have to move quickly to pass a massive bill to fund the government through March 14th, and they have to do so by Friday ahead of the government shutdown deadline. The 1,500-page bill also includes a whopping $100 billion for disaster and emergency funding, a healthcare package, and a one-year extension of the...
I had to go wish Joe Bowman a happy birthday. Tim, you were right. It is his birthday today. He laughed when I told him it was you who told me.
News brought to you by Sioux Falls Implant and Sedation Dentistry. They fix your teeth while you sleep.
Kello News Time is 6:31. I'm Joe Bowman in the Kello.com News Center. South Dakota Attorney General Marty Jackley has announced another criminal investigation into state government corruption, the fourth case this year. This one involves a state employee accused of falsifying food inspection reports. According to Jackley, 55-year-old Renee Strong of Springfield faces a long list of felony charges for signing off on reports and not doing the proper inspections, all while collecting a paycheck by the state. Strong could face a combined sentence of more than 90 years if convicted on all charges. If you haven't shipped out your Christmas gifts yet, you are running out of time. The U.S. Postal Service says today is the last mailing date to ensure delivery before Christmas for First Class and Ground Advantage. Meanwhile, UPS says packages will need to be received by tomorrow for their 3-day select service, but the deadline for shipping UPS Ground is today. Sioux Falls city officials believe motorists will love the new Veterans Parkway around the city, but your patience may wear a bit thin if your daily commute takes you through southern or eastern Sioux Falls while the construction is happening. Several 2-year road projects are beginning in the spring, 2 of which involves Veterans Parkway. Sioux Falls Public Works Director Mark Cotter says the other is I-229 and Cliff Avenue.
We want to make sure that we keep at least one lane open in each direction on 229 while we build this. This will be a 2-year project. This one will also have pedestrian tunnels on the on and off ramp, so pedestrians, bikers, and runners don't have to cross that live traffic at a really busy intersection.
Cotter says 41st Street, just west of Cliff Avenue, will be torn up and curved to the north to provide some separation from the on and off ramps from I-229. And in sports, South Dakota State women's basketball upped its win streak to 7 games last night with an 84-47 victory over Dakota State. And the Coyotes are back in action, hosting Mount Marty tonight. The Yotes and the Lancers tip off at 7 p.m. From the Kello.com News Center, I'm Joe Bowman.
The news never stops. Kello News Talk 1320 107.9.
Partly cloudy skies today in the Sioux Falls area. Our high at 26 with a southeast wind at 5 to 10. For tonight, a wintry combo coming in after midnight. Be aware of some slick roads as a result. Low temperature at 18. Snow, a little freezing rain tomorrow morning, a high of 35, but some blowing snow in the afternoon with a strong northwest wind. From the Storm Center at Kevinland TV, I'm Brian Carstens.
Where the most important viewpoint is yours. Kello News Talk 1320 107.9.
Today, it's exactly 1 month since drones appeared over New Jersey. There's no real evidence that these drones are flown illegally, but now we have rumors of a frightening purpose. I'm Kim Commando for NetSuite. Download the CFO's Guide to AI Machine Learning for free at netsuite.com/Kim. Last week, my best explanation was that these were AI military US-based drones. Of course, that was just a guess until someone speaks on the record. The most frightening rumor is that these drones have a life and death mission, detecting trace amounts of radiation, the kind that could have been smuggled across America's open border, the kind that could easily be used by terrorists to build either a dirty bomb or assemble a small nuclear device. The rumor claims the drones are being flown by NEST, the secretive nuclear emergency support team, and that would explain all the secrecy while officially maintaining the drones won't harm us. Now is the time for truth. Join 600,000 folks who get my free newsletter at getkim.com. What does the future hold for business? Ask 9 experts and you'll get 10 answers. Rates rising or falling, inflation being up or down. Can someone please invent a crystal ball? Until then, over 40,000 businesses have future-proofed their business with NetSuite by Oracle, the #1 cloud ERP, bringing accounting, financial management, inventory, and HR into one fluid platform. With one unified business management suite, there's one source of truth, giving you the visibility and control you need to make quick decisions. With real-time insights and forecasting, you're peering into the future with actionable data. When you're closing the books in days, not weeks, you're spending less time looking backwards and more time on what's next. If I had needed this product, it's exactly what I would use. And speaking of opportunity, you can now download the CFO's Guide to AI Machine Learning at netsuite.com/Kim. This guide is free to you right now at netsuite.com/Kim. netsuite.com/Kim.
The Kim Commando Show, live Saturday mornings at 9. Kello News Talk 1320 107.9.
The Kello Hotline is brought to you by Tires, your Give You More tire and automotive store. Financing programs available, 2 Sioux Falls locations to serve you.
Connect directly, bid confidently. At Purple Wave Auction, transparency is key. With no reserves and no hidden surprises, you're connected directly to sellers so you can inspect and bid on quality equipment with confidence.
Okay.
Whether you're looking for ag, construction, or fleet equipment, we're here to ensure a clear, hassle-free experience. Register today at purplewave.com and start bidding with peace of mind. Purple Wave Auction, the easiest and most straightforward way to buy and sell equipment.
This holiday season, Capital One reminds you to give yourself the gift of 1.5% cash back with the Capital One Quicksilver Card.
Can I earn 1.5% cash back on birds? Birds? What if you sent your true love 2 turtle doves plus a partridge in a pear tree?
Sure, but why would anyone want that?
The song was very convincing.
Earn 1.5% cash back on all your holiday purchases with the Capital One Quicksilver Card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details. I went to My Computer Career because I needed job security. Because I wanted a career in cybersecurity.
I went to My Computer Career because IT jobs are everywhere.
My old job was going nowhere.
I went because I didn't want college loans for the rest of my life.
Speaker Mike Johnson is defending the spending bill that there are things I think that are just not going to change as much as we wish they would.
1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, Capitol Hill. There's change in the air.
Some new faces and some familiar faces in new positions.
Follow all the moves between now and Inauguration Day.
One thing won't change. You can always depend on us. Kello News Talk 1320.
6:38, partly cloudy skies and 15 currently at Kello. This hour of the Greg Belfrage Show brought to you by the Window Shop of Mitchell, offering custom windows starting at $99 a month. Want to wish you and your family a very Merry Christmas. Hey, a reminder, no Greg Belfrage Show next week. I will be off next week. And even then into the following week. In fact, I start vacation next week and will be off through the new year. I really enjoy taking this time of the year off. So just a heads up, no Greg Belfrage Show next week. All right, let's see what else is going on this morning.
What's trending now? Does that news and views from Belf's News Gallery.
The House of Republicans accusing Liz Cheney of tampering with the January 6th witness, and they're asking the FBI to investigate. So Representative Barry Loudermilk released a report yesterday saying that Cheney may have encouraged a witness, and that was former White House aide Cassidy Hutchinson, to commit perjury, he said. So that's a big story this morning. Also, I love the headline at Breitbart on this. House preps a crap sandwich funding bill as the government shutdown looms. So government funding would expire on Friday at midnight, but congressional leaders then finalizing an expanded compromise bill to punt the deadline. So House Speaker Mike Johnson, as I mentioned, he's on Fox News right now talking about this. So the continuing resolution would extend current funding levels. So the CR is weighed down by a number of other things. And then there are those who are saying that they don't consider the bill a true continuing resolution. But I did not expect things to change in Washington after the election. Certainly, I mean, Congress is, it'll be interesting to see what happens with the new Congress and their approach. But Congress, as we have seen, I was not holding out any great hope. Also, Luigi Mangione, he's the one accused of killing Brian Thompson, the CEO of United Healthcare. He was indicted in New York City yesterday. So he's now facing a top charge of first-degree murder, 2 counts of second-degree murder, 7 criminal possession of a weapon charges, number of those, criminal possession of a forged instrument, which I believe was the silencer on the gun. Alvin Bragg called it a brazen, targeted, and premeditated shooting, which, of course, I think we all witnessed. We all saw that. Other stories trending this morning. Donald Trump has formally won the Electoral College more than a month after defeating Kamala Harris. So the Electoral College wants to confirm results for the 2024 presidential election, which they did. And there are a number of the stories you'll find revolve around the individual states. Iowa, for instance, Michigan was another one. Donald Trump is considering a Democrat, Jared Moskowitz, to lead FEMA. So CNN reported this, and they said since Trump won in November, Moskowitz has taken a notably friendlier approach to the incoming administration than some of his Democratic colleagues. He was quick to offer praise on social media when Trump tapped another Florida native. And I should mention that because Moskowitz is from Florida. And I think he played a role with, emergency management in Florida. I think he was the director of emergency management in Florida. And so Moskowitz offered some praise on social media when Donald Trump tapped Susie Wiles as his chief of staff because she's a native of Florida. So Moskowitz has a close relationship with Wiles. This is one of the things I think is going to be different about Donald Trump. Donald Trump's administration this time around is he is going to be bringing in some different voices. And, there are some Republicans that are upset. They're up in arms about Moskowitz. And this is a different Donald Trump than we have seen. Also, and I mentioned this story to you yesterday, it's trending this morning, that Robert F. Kennedy Jr. saying he's all for polio vaccines. So he told this to reporters on Capitol Hill Monday that he's all for the polio vaccine. And those comments came after Donald Trump had said that Americans are not going to lose the polio vaccine. So it appears then that Kennedy is very much following Donald Trump's lead. Also, Tom Cruise was awarded with the U.S. Navy's top civilian honor yesterday for outstanding contributions to the Navy and the Marine Corps with his film Top Gun, as well as some of his other films. So he's now a real-life decorated naval hero, Tom Cruise. So Cruise was given the Distinguished Public Service Award, and he said he was proud to receive the extraordinary acknowledgement, which came with a medal and a certificate. Cruise said, I admire all of the servicemen and women I know in life. Something that is very true to me is that is to lead is to serve. And I know that to my core. And I see that in the servicemen and women. So Cruise, the Navy said that Cruise had increased public awareness and appreciation for our highly trained personnel and the sacrifices they make while in uniform. So that's a pretty big deal. And neat to see that in the response from Tom Cruise. Also, Conor McGregor is confirming his next fight against Logan Paul, or Logan Paul, rather, excuse me. And because Conor McGregor had been considering then a comeback in the UFC, but now he's saying he will return to the ring after facing Logan Paul. So both of the fighters have previously faced Floyd Mayweather, who is the world champ. So Conor McGregor now agreeing to a boxing match with Logan Paul. This will be in India. Also, the Federal Trade Commission, excuse me, Federal Trade Commission announced on Tuesday a final rule to ban ticket sellers and hotels from tacking on hidden fees at checkout. So these hidden service fees or resort fees must be included in the total price of the ticket or hotel purchase up front. And so the 4-1 vote in favor of this rule was bipartisan. The FTC said it hopes the upfront disclosure will make comparison shopping easier for people and then result in savings for consumers and a more level market. Also trending this morning, I touched on this story yesterday. TikTok has asked the U.S. Supreme Court this week to intervene in the challenge to a law mandating that the company divest its American subsidiary or face a ban in the U.S. So now TikTok is saying the law is unconstitutional, and they're hoping the U.S. Supreme Court will take up the issue. And this is one of those issues. I see the editorial board at the New York Post yesterday came out encouraging Donald Trump to ban TikTok, because Donald Trump has indicated that he's on the platform and he used the platform successfully to win re-election. I'm not citing that as the sole reason, but certainly there were a number of young people that Donald Trump was able to reach through TikTok. And so Trump has been kind of iffy on this. The New York Post editorial board very much encouraging him to stand behind the ban. And that might be worth talking about this morning, getting your reaction. Also, there are are a number of stories regarding the ending of Yellowstone, the finale. I'm not going to go into it. I already know more than I wanted to know. And I don't want to ruin anything for you, but Yellowstone is trending. Also, radioactive material went missing in New Jersey earlier this month. And so now there are conspiracy theories that could be linked to the drone sightings. So it was a piece of medical equipment that's used for cancer scans that was actually shipped for disposal, but the shipping container arrived at its destination damaged and empty. Also, while we're talking about drones, a New Jersey drone pilot says his device lost power and was forced to descend from a restricted chunk of airspace while the mystery flyer that he was trying to investigate managed to stay airborne. So he had what he's talking about. He had an encounter with an unidentified drone. And again, now this is in New Jersey. Keep in mind what's going on there right now. So he lost control of his drone, and that story is trending. There could be a host of reasons behind why he lost control of his drone that, are absolutely plausible, would make perfect sense, I think. This is kind of a neat story, especially, I think, this time of the year. Officials with the Museum of the Bible created an animated video showcasing a site where this is it's a sarcophagus, and it's believed it's being called the Santa Claus sarcophagus. And so the discovery was made at St. Nicholas Church in Turkey. And the sarcophagus was found in the church's two-story annex, which is believed to be the original burial site of St. Nicholas. He's a bishop who was lived in the city during the 4th century. And they said, while drilling inside the sculpture, we encountered a surprise sarcophagus. Also, U.S. Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson will be making her debut on Broadway. Yeah, that is correct. It's a one night only walk-on role in a show called And Juliet. So it's a musical comedy. And so it'll be a walk-on role. Something apparently she's always wanted to do. Also, Rex Heuermann, he is a suspected killer. He's been charged now with the 7th woman's death, according to prosecutors. And the latest charges come as investigators continue to examine DNA evidence. The president also endorsed a ban on congressional stock trading in an interview that's being released this week. Said nobody in the Congress should be able to make money in the stock market while they're in the Congress, he said. You wonder if he did. Don't you? I mean, that's exactly what that was the first thought I had. Also, Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez wanted to be the top Democrat on the House Oversight Committee, and she lost to Representative Jerry Connolly of Virginia. So she lost her bid to be the top Democrat then on that powerful committee. Also, the House AI Task Force is saying that it's unreasonable to expect immediate congressional action on AI. They came out with a 250-page, nearly 300-page report. Fox News in the headline says 250-page report. You go down into the story, nearly 300-page report. So the report is taking a very light approach to regulation of AI. And that story is trending. And then finally, in international news, and this is trending, that several media outlets confirmed over the weekend the discovery of at least one mass grave in Syria. So this is after the fall of the Assad regime, and now at least one mass grave has been discovered. And those are the stories that are trending this morning in Belf's News Gallery. 6:56, partly cloudy and 15 this hour of the Greg Belfrage Show, brought to you by the Window Shop of Mitchell, offering custom windows starting at $99 a month. Well, thank you, my friend, for starting your day with the Greg Belfrage Show. Really appreciate you being here. See you again on the fourth hour coming up today at 9:30.
Happy New Year and a very Merry Christmas. This is Cody from Inside Dismantling. I wish you guys